In this quick overview and then try out video, we will take a look at how lines and curves can be composed by using different orientations, thickness, color, and layers to explain the three-dimensionality of what we sketched. For example, here in this case, some sort of a seating solution. Now, normally we always start with blocking out the three-dimensional volume, so we can then trace it and have a new clean line. But this is pretty paper thin. And we don't really know how is actually a surface right here bent. So we can add mesh lines. The mesh lines help us to understand how to read the empty area. Here, for example, the mesh lines show us that the back area, or not the back area, where we sit, where the hip is, it actually dips down. We can also add backdrops to certain areas to draw more attention to those parts. And then even with more line work, draw actually more attention to it. So it's a matter of contrast that works here. In addition, I can also add more whiteout on a layer above and then add more lines to it to give this rather thin design actually a substantial volume. Okay, with all that covered, so line thickness, the orientation of lines, contour lines, mesh lines, the backdrop, let's try this out in a new exercise. Here we are now with a new empty document. I have the layer set to manual. I have the soft, hard, and pen. They all use the same color. And also the pens, the hard and soft pencil, they have similar numbers. So my first layer, what I will do is kind of like try to block out what would I like to draw. So from the side, I would like something maybe like this. Okay, so when I draw a rectangle around it, okay, there I can roughly see how this actually works out. Really helpful. Good, so then we can go. We will do a very basic isometric view. It's not the most attractive one, but it's an easy one for beginners. So a straight vertical line down. Very good. Can make a copy of this line. Bring it to here. Very good. And then connect this there. So let's make a copy of this. There we are. This is actually a rectangle. So here, let's block this out so it looks like a rectangle. Yeah, like this. Then these three lines I select, make a copy and mirror this over, bring this to there, copy to there, to there. Very good. This actually, we will stretch. This will be longer. And then this will go to there, and here we have a copy that goes to there. Okay, very good. Now this whole thing is actually our isometric cube. Very good. New layer. Okay. Actually, let's go back to this cube one more time, because you see where is everything here. So I will do the following. Actually, no, I will do this on this layer here. So I will simply draw another line. And this line should be right at the center. You see there, no? And there's a line. Okay, this also should be there. Good. So these two, I make a copy, bring this over to here. There, good. And then all I need to do is connect the front. There. So I drew actually this plus I have there. This helps me really to understand where do I have to draw stuff, and I can just lower them. Okay, very good. So now we can go ahead. I will still actually, with the hard pencil, because it's actually the softer one, start sketching everything out. There, everything is nice and low. Okay, so the easiest corner to start drawing is this back that we have. And then you see this goes down to maybe somewhere there. So bring it to there. Then I can actually transfer these lines over. You see there, very good. Okay, and then following the isometric view here, these are parallel. Okay, bring this over. And then when this is an isometric line, there's the midpoint. Okay, so this should be kind of like maybe like here. That should be around. Yeah, that looks actually believable. Very good. Then we can bring this over. Yeah, it's nearly there. Okay. And then zip and zip. And there we are. And here we'll continue to the back and to there. There is an arc. So maybe like this. Also here I will continue these lines so I know where on the back that arc will be. Very good. So this is actually, as you can see, how I would start constructing that piece. Okay, now all this here I can remove. These things were just helpers. Okay. Yeah, here. Zack, go away. Beautiful. So with this actually done, now I can create myself a nice and clean outline. I'm removing parts there. Zip. Very good. So this is actually my underlay sketch. I could give this a name. For example, outline. Oops, that is interesting. I definitely did not type this. Outline. There. Perfect. Cool. Now, with more pen pressure and maybe a different pen, I will go ahead and add more value to this. There. And I will at first actually just follow really the contour. This doesn't need to be many lines. Simple line here is very effective and clean. And you see alone, this is not good. With the other stuff together, it looks interesting. I can keep this rather messy underlay work with all these extra lines. That's actually not too bad. Okay. That's actually quite nice. I will still go ahead now and see, well, what about I add this one to it? Yeah, this helps maybe. I don't know. Maybe actually it wasn't too bad, but I can always, because I work on different layers, I can always later select it and remove it. So what I will do now is I will indeed select this part I just added and remove it and keep it this way. And on a new layer, which I created there, now I really will see, well, if I actually know as a test, put down lots of extra lines. How could this then really work out? Okay, there we are. Sweet. Okay. Oh, this is actually nice. You see the roughness of these lines. That actually looks much nicer, more alive. Let's continue going with this. Not to say this is more artsy, but this actually has more character. Good. So we do not really know how the midline area looks like. So with actually a new layer, we can draw ourselves your lines here again, and we're constructing everything. There's a transition. Yeah, this looks good. Now I will go to a new layer and simply draw myself in one swoop this mesh line. Very good. Yeah. And then to the vanishing point, or essentially following the isometric direction, we can add more lines. This line we wouldn't see. And let's say here I do a little bit of an offset. This is important here so that when this line would be there, we wouldn't really understand that right there, there's a height difference. Okay, so it's like maybe mesh line number one, new layer. Well, what about this comes down and then this actually dips in and then goes up and goes this way. So that means that maybe this line can continue, but this has to arc a little bit. This minor there. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Now we can really understand. Oh, this is actually not a flat surface. That surface is bent. Now this is really what mesh lines are really useful for. I go back to this layer now because I thought, that's hard pencil, yeah, soft. I will go back and actually add this thin line here back because this is nice and clean. The rest is rather complex, and I will lower this a little bit there to give a little bit of punch. Very nice. Yeah, and we need here this one line. There. Very good. So we would like to draw more attention to that area. Goody. So this, let's say we call mesh line. This is another mesh line. This was actually our construction. We can delete it. That's our contour. No? Okay. When you give these layers names, it's a lot easier when you flip between them to understand what is going on. So to create maybe a detail to this beautiful area, I'm just blocking this out. So I know where I would like to draw. And I will start with the pen. And then I find it actually a lot easier by doing this as one long line and controlling the pressure, the direction, the quantity compared to just going line by line by line. I mean, you can do it this way too. It's actually also quite nice, but it's a lot of tap, 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 tap. Okay, very good. So now we need to obviously go in and clean this up. So I will use now our slice tool here. Remove everything where I don't need something. It's actually a really amazing tool I put in. Suck. Suck. To do this nice and straight. Maybe here, let's, nope, that's not what I wanted. Let's add, we can't add a guideline. Okay, good. Then, well, I'm using the paper edge as a guide. And also here, so There, try to do it this way. Very good. Now we go to here. And I erase this. It's kind of like in real life how you would make all these lines and then you use an eraser and you clean it up. Okay. Yeah, not too bad. We can adjust also here again the contrast, playing with where do I want to pay attention to. Maybe this is nice. Okay. There, maybe make this a tick longer. We can if we want to frame it to clean this up a little bit. There. Okay, very good. We can also use the marker. There are different techniques. You can just go with the same direction of the chair, you see, or you could also go against it. Let's try out how this looks when we go against it. One line there, there, okay, compacting it. Here's going to be another little trick. How do we do a nice fill shapes? So I will do this in white. And then we want to turn on the grid. There we are. Very good. And for the snapping, align to grid. Yeah, very good. And this should be not transparent. There we are. And then zip, zip. Oh, snap to the grid. Let's see, it didn't, I think it didn't really, oh, align or snap to grid. Okay, and I'll zoom in and then chup, 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 chup. Just counting. There it is. Very good. Obviously, this is too small. This is totally fine because now I can use this, bring this to there, and then I click and drag this point. Click and drag this one up. So this I make a copy. Simply move this one down. There. Very good. Then I make a copy. Move this one to here. Bring this down. Make a copy. Bring this over. Okay, so what's going on? This is all overlaying my drawing. Okay, well, not a big deal because, well, I can move all this stuff simply to the back. This should be behind my chair anyway. Good. So logically, this now also shows everything behind the chair too. So I turned the grid off, as you saw, and now I can go in and very carefully trace a shape I need and clean this out. Yeah, beautiful. When I was a student, actually, this was one drawing, this was one drawing, then we cut it out and then we used spray mount to mount it. How fun. I would never tell anybody to do this today anymore. Not too bad. The idea behind this technique is, as you can see, we can really nicely make collages. I could also have used the masked pen too. The only problem with the pen is I don't really get sharp corners. I do get, but I find actually drawing these rectangles very easy too, and I'm masking everything this way. So now I would like to add a little bit of thickness to my design because it doesn't have any thickness there. So new layer, I bring this one here on top. I will turn all this off for the moment. There's my grid. I need to see kind of like the direction. So something like this. This is very, very thick actually. Too thick. Maybe like this. Yeah. Okay. This is better. Now I can work with that. So then this follows it parallel. See, this is a really tricky task, which is why I simply pre-sketch my offset by hand. I can be rather messy. I can make mistakes. I can correct it. I realize this video becomes more a process. How to sketch again? Well, that's okay. How to use lines and how to sketch can't really be disconnected from each other. Anyway, but this is nearly good. Maybe here we changed this a little bit. Very nice. Ooh, this was actually on the wrong layer. Shoot, 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 shoot. How do we get this onto the correct layer? How do we do this? No, it's easy. Here, we just select all this stuff and then zoop, we just move it to the correct layer. Make sure that we only select what we want to move. They solved actually moving elements between layers really well. Okay, there we are. Very good. So let's turn everything back on what we wanted to see. There's the mesh line. There's that. Here and there. Very good. So we have this piece. What do we do here? Well, super easy. I can either with a pen mark stuff up. So for example, in real life, I would have used an ink pen that is beautifully white over everything, but under this line here, I would have started filling everything in there like this. There. A little bit here. I'm just removing some of the stuff. This whole thing here we don't really see. This is all gone. Very good. Okay, very nice. Yeah. Perfect. So now I could go ahead on a new layer with more pen pressure. Add strength to this outline. Where do I have my mesh lines? They're here. So on this layer now, here this goes down. Oh, haha, and then it doesn't show that. Okay, so this piece here, I need to maybe bring over here. No, wait, I used the wrong layer. This one here. You go to here. That is good, but now I have this stuff is visible, so maybe I put this over the contour. Very nice. Where's my mesh line? Mesh line are here. Okay, good. See, it's under it, and then I can still draw the stuff over it. Yeah. Cool. Okay. One last big ink line. Maybe here with that, with the ink pen. This is truly just an outline. And I hope at this point now you started realizing that what maybe makes these drawings work is just not the quality of a line. It's just simply the quantity of lines, the variation of lines, and simply visually, how does everything kind of like work? How can we compose stuff? Okay, very good. Yeah, that's just everything as a quick introduction or overview of how do I start with blocking something out and then start developing and adding more line types to it with different drawing tools, drawing thicknesses, and this way can develop a shape, a thickness to a shape, and then the form of the shape. Peace out.